good?
Oh, you've been recording the whole time?
Yeah,
Talking
so,
like in here picking my nose
yeah,
while you were
exactly.
gone, and I'll be recording.
Yeah, Or doing your makeup like it's a selfie or whatever. All right, I'm ready. Hey everybody, this is Chad Jordan from Sport Clips. This is another edition of our Hall of Fame podcast. And if you're watching on YouTube, hello. You can probably see that we're filming from a really special location. In fact, there are cars whizzing by us right now on the track. We are here in Darlington at the Darlington Raceway, and it's the Labor Day weekend. We had Denny Hamlin drive for us yesterday in an exciting finish. Even though he got disqualified after the fact, we still got some time in victory lane, and it was a really wild night. And then today, Eric Jones, who, by the way, I just met his dog, his German Shepherd, Oscar. He'll be racing for us. So while we're here, we have a lot of VIPs, especially around the Sport Clips world, coming by. And our guest today is certainly one of those. She's a Hall of Famer. Wait till you hear her story. So without further ado, young lady, why don't I have you introduce, why don't we do this? Your name, your store, what you do at the store, and then let's give shout out to your two kiddos.
All right, my name is Crystal Smith, and I'm a team leader of SC 308 in Sumter, South Carolina.
Gordon's hometown.
That is correct. Definitely Gordon's hometown, so no pressure for me. I am the team leader, and I also right now am in the store, playing a little manager, and actively involved in this store every day cutting hair as well. I have two children, two amazing children. One is 9, a little boy, Mason, and a little girl who is 5, just started kindergarten in Lakin.
And you're celebrating because now she's in kindergarten, so how much thousands of dollars a year does that save in daycare when they start school? Isn't that just like the biggest blessing in the world?
Yeah, I was telling somebody yesterday that they have a younger child, and I can't wait. It almost feels like a pay raise, but then reality hits, and
yeah,
so independent. Yeah, so it's just a double-edged sword. The reason we want to unpack your story a little bit today, Crystal, is because you kind of touched base on it in your introduction, but the fact that you are kind of managing your location, that you're there cutting hair. So I think stylists, especially stylists that are listening to the story, are like, wait, what? You're a team leader, but you're a cosmetologist, you're a stylist. So you are one of the few in the history of Sport Clips that has gone from the chair to being a team leader. So I really want to figure out how that happened, when it started to dawn on you that, wait, this is something I want to be a part of forever. This is what I want my life to be. And so let's kind of go back in time a little bit. I know you're 21, so you've been only cutting hair for 3 years. Give me when did the cosmetology thing happen for you, and what was beauty school like? Like, give me just an abbreviated version of when you knew you wanted to be a stylist. Well, actually, I took the cosmetology program actually in high school.
Was this like part of your classes at the school?
Exactly.
And you could get credit for high school by going to cosmetology?
Yes.
Okay.
So
did you have other friends doing it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I used cosmetology to get my license, and I was going to do hair, and it was going to be my stepping stone. So I really wanted to be a nurse, I thought, back then.
Really?
So yeah, cosmetology was going to get me through college.
You know, that's such a common thread. So many cosmetologists, like, they're drawn to nursing or medical field or something, but there's that desire to help people, right? Like that's innate, it seems, in so many of y'all. So this was just kind of give you the income to support going to nursing school. Is that what you thought? Okay.
So I ventured out, and I did not go through college as fast as I thought I would.
And is this in South Carolina, or where are you at the time?
Yes,
okay.
in South Carolina.
That's where the accent comes from. So you're born and raised here?
I am.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So I started doing hair at 18, fresh, 18, out of high school.
Mostly women's hair? Is that what you're doing at the time?
I was full service at the time.
Okay, yeah.
So with a different franchise, and I actually was a color specialist.
Okay.
So I became a color specialist. Love doing color, and I have managed this particular location at a very young age.
And then I just wanted something different. Sport Clips was new. They were coming to town. I'm still in college at this time.
What town is this?
Lexington,
okay.
South Carolina. So I seen some flyers go up, and it was new. I never heard of it before.
Yeah, it had just broken into South Carolina probably a year or two earlier, right?
So I stopped by, and I talked to, which would be Rosemary Gozier and Aaron Gozier. And also the team leaders of that store, the ushers, talked to them. And there was something about it I liked. And I think one of the things that pushed me forward was it seemed to be a lot of growth, opportunities, and it was a culture thing for me. Like I said, I was a color specialist, so doing men's haircut was very different.
Right.
That was something I was going to adventure. So
was it intimidating thinking about having to kind of do a 180 and switch from what you were in your comfort zone to?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think change is hard for anyone.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. So I'm still in college at this time, and I took that road, and I spent about 45 minutes on the phone with EJ going back and forth because I'm one of those people that I've really got to know what I'm about to get into. So poor thing, I'm walking around Walmart in circles, and he's spending a lot of time talking to me. So I took the job there.
And now is this as a keyhole? I mean, you're starting off as just as a stylist, or had they already kind of pegged you for some management role? Or
yes.
Okay, because you'd had experience at the full service salon. So they bring you in as what?
The store manager.
Okay.
Yep. So.
But you're a store manager that knows nothing, no offense, about Sport Clips.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Nothing.
So.
Nothing.
You're learning with the rest of the team, and this was a GO, or had it been?
Yeah, so we were bringing it. We were in it together.
Okay. All right.
It's fun. There's a funny story that goes along with it.
Okay.
So we get in there, and the team leaders were brand new as well. So they were new to Sport Clips. I'm new to Sport Clips. We learned together. We go to our first huddle, in fact, and we've always heard nobody but Texas wins anything at these things. So we zoomed out. I think.
Where was this huddle?
Where was that? I cannot remember. It might have been in Florida.
What year? Like what you remember?
2008.
Okay. So you think it's Orlando?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Florida that year. So we zoomed out. Next thing I know, we were coming back in, and our coach at the time was running down the hallway. All right, Crystal, where were y'all at? Y'all just won. I was like rookie of the year.
What, rookie manager of the year?
Yeah, no, rookie store of the year.
Rookies. Okay. Yeah.
So we're like, oh gosh, we were kind of embarrassed. We weren't there to accept our awards. So.
Was it 308? What store was this?
That store was actually 304.
Okay.
I say 304. So we didn't accept the award. We really, at the time, were so new that we didn't even know what that meant.
Right.
And even months later, I was like, well, I'll just be glad when I know what this kind of means.
Yeah.
So we really learned a lot together. Super great team leaders. But like I mentioned before, I was a color specialist. So I kind of felt like I was repetitive doing men's haircutting. So I actually stepped back out into full service.
Okay. How far into this?
Oh gosh, it's probably about 6 months.
Okay. So you started to get the itch to kind of do more, get back to where you were comfortable.
So I did that, and it was the biggest mistake I have ever made. It was a culture thing for me. Once you get into Sport Clips, it's a culture thing. And for me, that was something that meant more to me than money, or financial. It was a culture thing for me. So when I did go back full service, I realized that was where I needed to be, and that's where I wanted to be. So of course, then I had to turn around, and I had to start
to do an about face, start from scratch.
So then I turned around, started all over, and was a stylist and worked my way all the way up from there. So.
Back at 304 or where?
No, actually I was too embarrassed, so I did not
that
do
would have
that.
been awkward going back.
It took me forever to even look that team leader in the eye. So I tell him now I still work for him, community service.
Yeah.
Because I made the biggest mistake, but it was a growing tool for me, and I think in my position now, what it allows me to know is young women they have different what they think. And sometimes the grass looks greener on the other side. And now I tell them, hey, look, as long as you go about this the right way, try it.
Yeah. Don't burn. So public service announcement here. Don't burn your bridges.
Yes, definitely.
You never know when you need to walk back over them.
Yes, head held down.
Yeah.
But that was good for me. That made me realize that color specialist actually wasn't where it was at for me. And I probably realized really early into the game that I wanted to own my own franchise. I've always been very goal oriented. I had my son, and right after I had my son, I had to make a decision. And this is by the time I came back. I was a stylist, and I was at Harbison SC 302.
You're going through all the 3 O's.
I know, right? That's Columbia. And so I had my son, and I was going to college.
Still for nursing, or?
Yes.
Okay.
And so it was getting, and I was still working full time. So that was a lot on my plate, and I had to make a decision, and that was to continue going to school or to work. And I weighed my options, and I loved what I did. I was very goal oriented. I knew that I could, move up. So I decided that I was not going to go to school any longer. So I guess some people would probably look at it as quitting, but for me, it's the best thing I've ever.
It's figuring things out.
Yes, best thing I've ever done, and I'm glad I took that avenue. So that's kind of what made me start from there and work my way back up into management. And then I did even a little coaching.
Really?
Yeah, and
wow.
And I was an area manager for the Dozers as well. So, and I've been very fortunate to learn a lot from them. Eric and Rosemary were truly a blessing, and probably my biggest mentor. Being 20 years old, you just you need some of those things. But I was very honest with them about wanting to move up, and they knew I always needed a challenge. I have to be on my feet. I need a challenge, and I knew probably when like I said, my son was born, so probably 9 years ago, and I started researching, digging, and I don't want anyone to think it just happens overnight. So I did research.
What kind of research? You're not going to Wikipedia. I mean, what are you doing to investigate how to go about this?
I think for me personally, it was more than just asking one team leader. Anytime something was going on in the area, in the market, at the huddles, I was always there, and I was always there asking questions. And
they're like, this lady again, man.
Yeah,
what I got to do to shut her up? Well, she's full of questions. I'm sure that wasn't. I'm sure everybody was like, this is cool.
I feel like power's knowledge, and if I'm going to surround myself with people, I want it to be someone better than me, or someone that I look up to, or someone that can feed me knowledge. So I was always going to different events, learning things, learning the way different team leaders did different things, what else there was out there. So that's kind of how I did a little bit of my research, and then just looking into the company. I drove away, So that's when I started. Was there, and actually, let's say that was 9 years ago. So actually, the time I was ready, or I thought I was ready, there were no more licenses in the Columbia area.
Small little problem.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh, my whole world was pressed. I remember calling Rosemary. I'm like, oh gosh, this is never going to happen for me now. And but I knew that's what I wanted to do. This is all I know was sport clips. So
what did she say when you were kind of despondent, discouraged?
Oh, she's one of those people that can hug you through the phone no matter what. So she's like, well, they may open up more in the area, I'm like, okay, well, so that hasn't happened and didn't happen, so.
It's a very strong market. I mean, they especially, Eric and Rosemary did such an amazing job as area developers. Now EJ is coming along, actually. They're doing a lot of the work, obviously, but just establishing sport clips in this area, they were phenomenal. So it wasn't like, you're right, it wasn't like they were licenses or stores were going to be falling through the cracks. Mm-hmm. So you're kind of seeing, oh no, my window of opportunity, the timing's not right, it's closed up. Mm-hmm. So she loves you through that, and then what?
Well, actually, I went went through some really personal things about 2 years ago, which led to a divorce. And so then not only was there's no more stores, I'm going through a divorce, and so
and you got 2 kiddos. You have to figure out what we're gonna do with it.
So I'm like, oh, my whole world's falling apart.
Right.
Nothing is going my way. So
Wow.
I picked up the phone in the maddest time of everything I was going through, and I called EJ, and I'm like, look, just because I'm going through a divorce, don't forget I have dreams. Don't forget what we've talked about. Don't forget I've told you.
Did you get the sense that maybe they were taking their foot off the gas just to kind of give you some space? Maybe
well,
they weren't.
Absolutely.
Okay.
How could you not?
Yeah.
I feel like, for something like that. So I just wanted to say, hey,
I'm still all in.
I know my life
Yeah.
looks like a wreck from the outside, but this is still what I want to do. And it's like, okay. And I didn't feel like he doubted me at all. And then gratefully the opportunity became available. And it was amazing timing for me because personally I got to put a lot of time and focus and energy into something that was going to be so positive for me versus just letting life get the best of me and go the opposite way. So I was truly blessed at the way that the timing happened, and it was a previously owned store. So there was a team leader that already opened it, and he was wanting to get out. So it just all worked out,
Right.
So.
I mean, and really talk about the stars aligning for it to, like, that had to be the ultimate sign. It was in the founder's hometown.
Oh, yeah.
Like when that hit, you're like, oh wait, it's got to be from above. The fact that of all the stores in South Carolina,
Yes, Gordon was coming to save me.
Right, exactly. Exactly. He swoops in with his cowboy hat and cape.
Yes.
And so, all right, so you get that call. The stores. Any hesitation?
Oh yes,
Okay.
absolutely, a ton.
Let's be real
Yeah,
here, right?
Yeah, a ton. So as an area manager, we're an extension of the team leaders. So I've been to TLDC.
Yep.
So, and I'm very goal oriented and number smart on certain side of things, and so we're an extension of them. So I felt like, okay, I've done this. Ashley trusts me. I've been kind of like a team leader already. But then you think, that's her money. That's
right.
It's different. It's very different when it's I can't mess up.
Yeah, you got skin in the game. You're next on the
Yeah.
line. Use all the analogies you want. But
Yeah. So I was very nervous, and then of course, again, I'm a single mother, and I have 2 small children, and
we haven't even said how far away you live. You live from your store. So why don't you tell me how long it takes you to get to your store every time you go in?
it takes me an hour and a half
Each way.
each way. And
So-
if it's bad traffic, I have had it take me 2 hours.
And you, like we said at the top of this, you work in the store, like, at least right now, while you're kind of managing and building the culture. I know that's something that you're passionate about. So can you give me what have been some of the early challenges that you had? You assume the team leader duties, roles, responsibilities, financially, all that kind of stuff. You sign on the dotted line. And you hadn't worked that store ever, right?
I actually did work in that
Okay,
store.
you had been there before. So you knew some of the team members, or
Oh, I have to say, I worked in there 2 days and they did not say a word.
no? Okay, all right,
Yeah,
okay.
So it was.
It's not like you got the good vibes. This is where I'm meant to be. You had to really
Oh yeah, absolutely.
jump in with both feet and just kind of double down, as our huddle theme was last
Yes.
year, and take that risk. Okay, so you go in the store. Again, you know the culture hasn't been yet what you want it to be. What is that transitionary period from you being on the other side to now being a team leader in your store? What was that the first weeks and months like?
Oh gosh, that was probably for me was probably getting to know some of the girls, or trying to get to know them, get some information, see what motivates them, observing, seeing what they liked or they didn't like, and even culture still to this day is something that we're definitely pushing in that store. I think change for anybody is hard, and obviously from probably one person to the next, there's going to be some change.
Do you feel challenges because what a unique situation to have the woman that's managing your store, essentially, that's what you're doing, also be the team leader. Like, that doesn't happen. I mean, literally, there's probably 5 team leaders in our system that were once managers. So do you think it's a weird dynamic? Do you think they kind of sense, there's something a little different?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I feel like that a team leader and a manager usually are two separate roles.
Yes, for sure.
So I want to be the good guy. I want
Right.
to come in and do all the cheerleading and high-fiving when we do records and all the fun stuff. But unfortunately, I'm playing a double role right now,
Yeah.
and it's kind of good cop, bad cop. And in order to have change and see growth and create that culture, it's got to be done. So that's kind of where we're at right now. We've done some really fun team building activities.
Like what?
We went to the escape room.
Okay. Did you escape? That's a real
Oh
important.
no, we didn't make
Okay,
it
then you
out.
gotta go
We
again.
didn't.
Yeah.
I know we didn't make it out. So we went to the escape room. We did a full 3 days of a grand opening training. My big thing was making sure that it wasn't a training issue. I wanted to make sure I gave them all the knowledge to be able to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
So we did retraining, and after that we did the escape room.
Uh-huh.
So, and then we've also done like a paint thing together, and we're getting ready to
Paintball?
Oh no.
Oh, okay,
Paintball, not
okay,
to
all right.
imagine
Oh,
that
not
again.
like the wine and dine
Yeah,
kind of thing.
yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Uh-huh.
So that was the
Paintball
blast.
might be something to get your aggression out though at each other if you ever need to.
But they're not an aggressive group
Okay.
of girls.
All right.
They're actually really quiet.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Well, I know. I went in there. You're right. They're kind of chill.
Yeah, they're
Still
chill.
figuring
And
things out.
you gotta pull some stuff, pull stuff out of them. Great group though. We've really done some really amazing things this quarter.
I mean, when I was there, I'll just say this. I'll give them this plug. I don't know, 3 to 5 clients. They all walked out with amazing haircuts. So technically, I know they've got the skills. I didn't sit down to get my haircut or chat with them too much, but I could tell that you got a quality group there.
Yes.
And it's at 308. What's your store number?
SC308.
Okay, 308. What have been some of the highlights so far of being a team leader? Is there still kind of the wait and see mode for you to be able to rejoice too much?
Really and truly, I forgot how awesome it was to be a stylist. And because I have been an area manager so long and a coach, that we don't get behind the chair a lot. And so now I get to get behind the chair, and I'm like, oh God, this is awesome. And you get that positive feedback from that client that you make feel great, and they give you a great Lesson 360 score, and you get a tip, and they buy retail, and they get their bag bar, and it's just an amazing feeling. And I think sometimes being an area manager, it's great to take that step back and be able to get back behind the chair, because our stylists are really who make our business awesome.
Yes, for sure.
And for me, that's my first passion, and it's great to get back behind the chair.
It's what's neat is one of the great things about my job is I get to travel the country, get to meet, obviously like yourself, I get to meet a lot of great people like you, and I've spent a lot of time with coaches. And for me, the coaches that, I don't want to put any of them on blast, but the ones that seem the most fulfilled are the ones who still maybe one day a week go into a store and cut and have that relationship where they still are with clients and they're still obviously proficient and really good, really technically there. But there's something about when the way stylists, the way you guys are wired is so amazing. That human, that connection, that feeds it, I think your energy, your whole vibe. And so when you step away from that, maybe as an area manager or someone, and you're not doing it as often, it's almost like part of your fuel tank gets lowered. So for you to now be back,
You're so
doing,
busy fixing, everything else, or
Right.
helping and coaching.
putting out fires.
Yeah, putting out fires, and it's just good to hear, go back to where you started and get some positive reinforcement from your clients and making them happy. So.
What and you might have covered this all kind of in the time of our course of our time yet so far, but if I'm a stylist, I'm listening to this right now, and I'm looking for okay, what are the 2 or 3 things I gotta do once I realize this is a dream of mine to be a team leader? What are some things that you, looking back, you would say these are the critical things that I did that helped me get in this position?
Oh yes, definitely. I'd say patience. It does not happen overnight.
So don't get discouraged.
Don't get discouraged.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely not.
I feel like research was another one.
Yeah, research was
kinda-
one, but a little bit more than research. I'd say goal oriented. That's been a
Okay.
huge thing for me. And
Do you you write it down? Do you write your goals down, or you just know what you want?
I probably write them down like 5 times.
Okay.
Just being goal oriented, and I guess not so much writing it down, but knowing what you're going for, why, even just as far as accepting a challenge. I'm very goal oriented, whether I was a stylist or whether I was an assistant manager or a manager. I wanted to be the best, and if I wasn't, I wanted to know why. I wanted to know how, and I wanted you to give me feedback so I could do it next time. So patience, goal oriented is a big one, and like I said, I'll take this back to I was working at sport clubs and being a stylist because that was going to get me through college. But just because I was riding the fence to get me through college, I never stopped doing the best that I could do. I always gave it my all, whether I was a stylist, just making my way to my next move. I think that really helped me. And then another thing was exposure, sucking up knowledge, going to any kind of event that I possibly could go to. Sometimes there's product knowledge events or events happening in our area, and I just see girls like slouch in their seat, and it just
directs you.
Oh, it kills me, because I just want to be like, power is knowledge. This is a way for you to see that we are so much bigger and to get so much more knowledge. Whether this is where you see yourself long term or not, you can learn something and take something away from it. So being involved.
And I think, and not to put words in your mouth, but I want to flesh out one thing that I think was critical in your development. So if a stylist really has this as a dream, you seem to surround yourself with mentors, and I don't want to say leech onto them, okay? But you didn't let them go, right? You know, you held on for dear life, and we're even honest with them. Like when you had the challenge, you're going through divorce and figuring out what to do with your kids, where you said, hey, don't forget about me. I'm still here, I'm still me, I still have dreams. And I think that was so great that you had that connection, obviously with the Gozers, but even other team leaders that you pick their brains, but just to have those mentors in your life. I mean, I certainly, I'm not where I am in my career or my livelihood or who I am as a person without very key people along the way, kind of helping me calibrate, knock off some rough edges. You know, can you imagine where you would be if they didn't get a hold of you at certain critical times, right? So I think for any stylist out there that's listening who really has that dream, that they got to find someone that they can just kind of go under their wing, be humble. I mean, that seems like you were super humble. Said, I don't know everything. Help me.
Oh, I still don't know everything.
Yeah, you and me both, sister.
Yeah, I think that is a great thing. Eric and Rosemary were super awesome. It's about that culture thing. They just, family, and I felt very secure with them. Rosemary could tell me to go play in traffic, and if that was the best thing, that's what I would do. When I first come on as her area manager, I'm so grateful. She had to really bring me down to reality. I'm like, well, what is she doing? We're gonna fire her. She's like, no, honey, just calm down. So I learned a lot from her. She's definitely an amazing mentor, and Big Eric as well. He's awesome with the numbers side of things. Arguing around a round table with him and getting him heated in the moment is probably something I miss more than anything. And also other team leaders in the area. I'm not afraid to call and ask them questions, see how they're doing things, and just being involved. A lot of team leaders in my area and other areas know who I am because I've walked up and said, hey, what's going on in your market? How are things going? Even as manager. So.
Well, that's why I wanted to capture your story, because what you have done is so phenomenal, and yet I think inspiration that I'd love to see every stylist that has a dream of one day being either a manager or obviously a team leader. I'd love to see them chase that dream, and if they could glean one or two key things that maybe I'm sitting down with them in years from now and find out, hey, and they say, oh, I listened to this podcast from Crystal Smith and she told me to do this, and they did it. I'd love to see that pan out. So here's where I'm at. I got 10 fun questions that we're going to wrap this up with, but I also have a presentation to give you real quick, something special that
because we're here in Darlington, and so for those of y'all, you might have seen the race or maybe watched on Facebook Live. I was streaming from Victory Lane. We were having a blast. Denny finished first. Like I said, he got disqualified for a post-race inspection, but we didn't care at the time. And I don't to be honest, I think we're still kind of happy because it was such a fun event. But so afterwards, first of all, he takes a picture with what 50 different sponsored hats. Like he had to keep taking hats on and off. But they told us Sport Clips, hey, stick around, we'll get you a picture with him. And they really wanted a group photo. I don't know if you sensed that, but they didn't want us coming one up at a time. But last year when I was at Darlington, before the race, I tried to get Denny to do the scissors pose, and he didn't. He wanted just to hold up the number one, first place. He wanted to, right. And so the scissor pose to him looked like number two, and he didn't want to do. So anyways, so after this race, they finally call us over, and they let us take a picture with him. And I explained to him, Denny, hey, we have this social media scissor pose that we do. It's something that we started, and it's kind of just our shout out to everybody at Sport Clips. So could you do it? Sure enough, he flashes a scissor pose, and I needed a scissor pose sister to take a picture. So you took the picture for me. But not only that, when you went up there, you had him do the scissor pose with you. And from what I can tell from all the pictures, those are the only two scissor pose pictures that we got. Denny Hamlin in history. So as those maybe watching on YouTube or listening, we have our scissor pose shirt. So she's my sister pose.
That's right.
She's my scissor pose sister. So she's getting, I'm awarding her one of our scissor pose shirts, which I know she's going to proudly support and wear and pictures with her team. So you can only get those by doing something epic, and getting
that was epic.
Denny Hamlin in Victory Lane to do a scissor pose is epic. We're the only two people in history to do that so far. Let's see if we can get it. Okay, so all that being said, I got 10 questions, and then we'll wrap this up.
Okay.
All right? These are fun questions. Nothing about you being, super serious team leader now. But number one, which superpower would you most like to have?
Superpower I would most likely like to have. I think I'd like to travel back in time.
Really? Okay. Undo some things and do some things differently.
Yeah.
Okay. I see. I thought it was going to be like teleporting so you can get back and forth to your 308 faster.
That'd be a good
All
one.
right. What is your personal motto?
My personal motto is find something you love to do and you will never have to worry.
Oh, I like it. Cool. Other than where you live now, let's say South Carolina, where else in the world would you most like to live?
Other than where I live now. Probably somewhere beachy, tropical, maybe Destin, Florida.
Well, I was going to say, we're recording this while we don't. By the time this airs, Hurricane Dorian will have come and gone. We will. I don't know what's going to happen. We don't even know where it's going to hit right now. So I was thinking I'd stay away from the East Coast if I was picking a beach. But that's, hey,
We definitely don't want to go to like Venice Beach. Have you ever been there?
In California?
Yes.
Yes. No. Yeah. Those beaches leave a lot. So. Okay. What words or phrases do you most overuse?
Oh, Jesus, take the wheel.
Really? Okay. Everyone's heard you say that a billion times. What sound or noise do you love?
Sound or melodies do I love? I would probably have to be Mommy or I Love You.
Okay. All right. The mother's heart. What sound or noise do you hate?
Oh, silverware against your teeth.
Really? Okay. I'll remember that next time I'm eating around you. All right. In the story, when they make the movie based on the story of your life, who's going to play the lead character? Who's going to play you? What actress?
Oh, I am not a movie person. But if someone's gonna...
Yeah. If you had to pick one famous actress that you would want to play your role.
I don't know.
Like a Jennifer Aniston type. You want to go?
I wouldn't even know her personality. I'm hugely not a movie
I'm gonna
person.
go Jennifer Aniston.
Okay, there we go.
That's
You
who
got
I
to pick that
envision.
one.
Okay, now there's a soundtrack for the movie. You get to pick one band to play the music
for your entire soundtrack? What band are you picking? Who's that band that played last night here in Darlington?
Oh, Josh Pridham.
I don't know what they sound like.
Yeah, sure. He's playing it.
Okay, all right, we'll give them a shout out. And
There you
now
go, Josh.
they give you they let you pick the title to the movie that's based on the story of your life. What are we calling that movie?
Gosh, I really should have probably been a little bit more prepared.
No, these are new questions. Some of these are.
Oh.
I want your honest gut reaction.
Life's a highway.
Life's a highway? Okay, I like it. Especially right, an hour and a half commute back and forth to work. All right, last question. If heaven indeed exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
I'm proud of you.
Good. Yeah. Well, hey, certainly not God on this side of the microphone, but we're proud of you. I mean, your story. I know that stylists, other team leaders, people listening to this are going yes, and they're cheering you on. We're cheering you on at Sport Clips. Everything that I've seen. By the way, we've been trying to record this podcast for over a year. We thought we were going to do this last Labor Day weekend, and things didn't work out. But I'm glad it lined up now. Your story's even better than it was a year ago. But yeah, we're proud of you. And thank you for representing stylists and managers with dreams, and the fact that you took one step forward and felt like maybe you took another step backwards, you went back to full circle, like all that kind of stuff.
I think that's reality.
You don't have to be perfect, right? I mean, there's nothing disqualifies you, right? As long as you have a dream and you keep chasing it. So
How many times you fall down, but how many times you
that's
get back
right,
up.
and I'm very proud of you, and thank you so much for carving some time out. We're up a little earlier than we were supposed to be here in Darlington on a Labor Day Sunday, but we made it happen. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, and everybody, we will have another edition. I don't know if it'll be as exciting as this one. We'll have another edition next week. So thanks for tuning in.
Thanks.
All right, look at that. Right in the sweet spot, 36 minutes.
Sweet. You're
Yeah, man.
145, I'm 125.
No.
So how about the scissor pose? Maybe we